Regarding yesterday's video, in terms of the COVID ID, you know, 19 video that I made, guys, I thought that this was a community of like minded folks, at least in terms of thinking contrarian, with contrarian viewpoints and individualized opinions. But apparently, there is a winning side and a losing side to what I had conveyed within my own opinion on yesterday's video. It's not about whether I'm right or wrong. What it is that there's no winning side to this virus bullshit. Now, on one hand, the truth is that the virus does in fact exist. And the truth is also that certain people do have it. The point that I'm trying to make is that more often than not, we are distracted continuously. Every time something goes down in this world to such a degree, it is used to its fullest. Never let a good crisis go to waste. Do you honestly think that this is just all happenstance, it's all circumstantial, that it just literally is 100% truth? I mean, if you think that, fine. If you don't think that, fine. I'm simply trying to put forward my viewpoint of it, in that connecting all the dots, so to speak, it just leads me to believe what I believe. It's not that it's right or wrong, man. Again, there is no right and there is no wrong. We lose either way in this case. And ultimately and eventually, this entire country will be on a full lockdown, city by city, state by state. No interstate travel, no interstate commerce, nothing. That's what I believe will happen ultimately, irregardless if we stay home or not. This isn't something that was just sprung on the world circumstantially or by accident or naturally. The way that everything works is far beyond our comprehension, our standard way of thinking, because of the way those certain individuals operate, and because of their manner of thinking, which is heinous to a degree that we can't comprehend. The planning that is involved in the things that go on in this world of ours is so far in advance that it's absolutely ridiculous. It truly is. Many people have known that this crash was coming for many, many, many years. It's been rather obvious, even to people that don't think with a contrarian mindset. This was all inevitable anyways, with the stock market, with the metals market, with everything. But now let's throw this into the mix. What perfect timing. What perfect timing that the with the China deal, with the whole pipeline thing with Putin, Brexit, election year. I get it. When it rains, it pours, you know. New York is one of the heaviest populated cities in the entire country. I get it. I'm not stupid. But isn't it ironic that New York, in particular, is on a full lockdown? No going outside, no doing a whole lot of nothing. Why New York once again? Well, isn't that where the stock exchange is? Funny how that's where 911 happened also. Planes did crash into the Twin Towers back in the day. But the people that crashed those planes into the towers and the reasons behind all of it, the mythology behind it, everything. That is what I'm talking about with the virus. Okay? I understand it's a little bit intense, conspiratorial, right? I get it. But what I'm trying to share with you is to keep your eyes open and change your bullshit filter. That's all. It's not about me. I'm neither right nor am I wrong. It's my opinion. Simply based on history. I'm not even going to get into the politics. I don't need to. In defense of myself, and I'll use this as an example, lynch mobbing someone because of their contrarian viewpoint is something that is a regular occurrence. If you don't swim downriver with the rest of the fish and instead decide to swim upstream or to the left or to the right, you're mocked and ridiculed. If the cow doesn't do what all the other cows do, then comes the cattle prod by the rancher. We're in the middle of a storm right now, in the eye of the hurricane. The front wall hit. We're in the middle. There's still a back. And when that hits, I believe personally, we're in for it. And there's nothing we can do about it. Again, there's no win to this. Seems many people have forgotten when it was said to us that warmer temperatures will, the virus will die off in warmer temperatures. So magically and suddenly, April, everybody can come out of their freaking house. As if there's a start and a stop button with this virus. You know what I'm saying? It'll all be over soon, folks. Just stay in your houses. Don't forget to wash your hands, kiddies. Social distancing. You can go to the drive-thru and get takeout. Never mind the kid that made your food. You can go for walks in the park with a friend. Maintain social distancing. Never mind the wind direction or wind speed. You can go to the grocery store. Never mind being around 100 other people. Don't assemble in groups of 10 or more, because that makes sense. You might assemble as a church at that point. No, stay at home, do everything online so we can track every thought you have, every text you make, every voicemail you leave, every YouTube video you post. There's no denying that there are people in hospitals on ventilators. There's no denying that. However, people get sick every single fucking day. Every single day, there are people sick. Every single year, millions of people die from pneumonia. How many millions of people have died from COVID-19? How many hundreds of thousands of people have died from COVID-19? How many people have recovered from it? Never mind all the doctors that have been swept under the rug that have come out publicly to state that COVID-19 is a weak strand of the flu or pneumonia. But never mind pneumonia that kills millions and millions of people on an annual basis. Wouldn't that be more sensible as declaring to be a pandemic, being that it goes country to country, state to state, town to town, neighbor to neighbor? You do realize that those people do show up to church on Sunday, right? And they could be sick. And most times they know they're sick, but they go anyways. And they go to the store, and they go to the gas station, and they go to the restaurants. But just be sure to lynch mob the dude that thinks contrarian, trying to point things out to people, although he may not be as organized as a professional that monetizes, that will take the time to assemble a proper video because he monetizes. Which I don't. I do have somewhat of a responsibility to watch what I say. However, I'm just a dude, man. I'm just a dude just like you. All right? Just a guy. I'm a human. That's part of my channel, is that I just shoot from the hip. And that's it. So I might say some stuff that hasn't been carefully scripted or well organized or whatnot. I just go with it, man. So sometimes I fuck up. I get it. I try to be more accurate and precise in my videos. We're humans. There are hospitals. We're imperfect beings. And we do end up in hospitals on ventilators from time to time. I have had pneumonia a few times in my life. I know what it's like to be in a state of hardly being able to breathe. And then you add a little anxiety on top of that, and it makes it even worse, which I too have suffered from anxiety and panic attacks in the past. I've also had the flu, numerous colds over 51 years of life. I get it. Some people are very fragile. Some people haven't had an anxiety attack. Some people have never experienced anxiety. So when you have a little bit of an issue breathing, you factor in the fear going around with this COVID-19 virus. They think they have it. They freak out. So now it's even harder for them to breathe. Then they get tested, and they do have it, a mild case of the flu. And it makes their anxiety what? You go into full-blown freak-out mode. Of course you can't breathe. But then there's people that really have it with compromised immune systems. Their lungs fill full of fluids. I get it. I'm not denying it doesn't frickin' exist. I'm saying that we are being used. This is being used to the benefit of those whom had been planning such an event for many, many, many years. That is my opinion of the entire matter. And you know what? After yesterday and all the negative comments that I had received on that video, I decided to see how many other people on YouTube are feeling a little bit duped, who are thinking contrarian, who don't really appreciate wearing the tinfoil hat, but put it on for a little bit. And you know what? I'm not the only one. So now what are we going to do? Put up a big fence? There's the I'm rights and then there your wrongs? Come on, man. It's called free thinking. When everybody looks into one direction, I kind of have a tendency by nature to look around. I'm not saying that you're wrong or that I'm right. I'm just saying that I like to watch my back, see what's going around, what other people are thinking. Take it all into consideration. Make my own assumptions, my own viewpoints after that. And these are mine. This is my channel. If you don't like my viewpoints, that's fine. Nobody really knows if they have COVID-19. I'll bet you everyone has it. I'll bet you everyone has it. And ultimately, everyone's going to get it. God made our bodies with this thing called an immune system. And over our lifetimes, we are subjected to germ upon germ upon germ that our immune system becomes immune to because it's subjected to it. Other people have a compromised immune system. I believe that the hospitals and whatnot have been ordered to provide every single case and every single number to the CDC and the government so that they can use those numbers to manipulate things. There's been a lot of people that have walked away from this. There's been a lot of people that have been tested, that felt fine, that do have it, and then they're told to quarantine themselves. What the hell have they done? They haven't done anything wrong. You see, there are people amongst us on a daily basis in this thing called life that are sick to a degree, that don't even know it, that are subjecting us to their sickness on a daily frickin' basis. Our bodies take care of it from there. But if you want to live a sheltered life, trembling in fear, well, that's on you. Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego. 3 Hebrew men thrown into the fiery furnace by Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon. When they refused to bow down to the king's image, they were thrown into the furnace, and they were preserved from harm. Why? Because they had faith in Christ. They had faith in God. That's why. They didn't live in fear. We each have our time on this world. We each have a beginning and an end. Each of us, before God's creation, were decided to be made by God. Our names were written down in the Lamb's Book of Life. Actually, our names were written down in the Book of Life with a beginning and an end. And then that book was closed and sealed till the day of our judgment. In that book were the names of everyone in God's creation from beginning to end. And of those names, who would believe and who would not believe. You can disagree with that, and that's fine. Throughout God's perfect word, He tells us time and time again to not live by fear, to not live by a spirit of fear. Lift up our heads and rejoice. Be glad. Be happy. Be thankful. Be grateful. Don't be scared. Be not afraid, for I have overcome the world. Look, if it's your time, man. You have no say in it. But that's not to say that it makes sense to go step out in front of a bus right now and see what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? And in all fairness, the virus could be that bus, right? And maybe my opinion will become changed. And maybe that virus will truly be that bus that I don't want to step in front of, or that anyone wants to step in front of. But I'm looking at the evidence, and the evidence shows me that it's just the government pulling another shenanigan once again, and I don't appreciate it. Because this time it's not just the government, it's all the governments of the entire world. And they're trying to rein in what? What's the ultimate goal? You don't have to believe in Christ, but I'm sure most of you believe where the powers that be are trying to lead us in this place we call Earth. If you get anything at all from this lengthy frickin' video, longest one I ever made, please at least take from it that maybe you should think for yourself. If you're tired of being lied to and tired of accepting every single rope-a-dope and distraction, then think for yourself. Just so happens that I put my thoughts out there in public, and, you know, when you do something like that, you have to be ready for the consequences. And I was, and I am, and I'm fine with it. I'm not easily offended. Again, I'm fine with being wrong, but that sucks. And I'm also fine with being right, but that also sucks. There's no win to this. The only winning is that you would know the truth. And that is what I'd like to encourage you to find. But at the end of the day, the only way to come to the truth is through Jesus Christ. And you can deny that, but he too will deny you before the Father in heaven. Thanks for stopping by, my friends. Till next time. See you.